we're going to look at different fonts. So it says serif, sans, and display. These are 3 different fonts that are commonly used. We're going to just show you how to change those. So click on the first one, serif, and you see how it has this little blue box around it?
Give me a second. I can't click on it. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, so anytime it has a blue box, that means you can change whatever's inside that blue box. See how it's changing everywhere I go? So I want you to change, oh, there's Michelle again. I want you to change the word serif. So just double click and it brings up the 4 white dots on the corners there. Hey, Michelle, welcome. I'm going to share with you a link that I want you to open up Canva and just follow along. We're literally on the first slide. And if you could turn your video on for me, it's easier for me to look at who I'm talking to. Okay, Andreas, so double click on serif, and if you double click again, it will highlight the word.
Yep.
And then you're going to go over here where it says open sans.
Open what, I'm sorry?
Open sans up in the top left-hand corner.
Yeah.
Or you could also, well, we'll just do it here. Open sans, and we're going to change that to, open serif. We're going to change the word to a different font. So let's change that to serif. So all you have to do is up here in the top, above all the words, see where my arrow is?
It's because I can't do both of them at the same time, you know what I mean? But yeah, now I see.
Okay, so you click on the open sans, it's going to bring up a list of fonts over on the left-hand side. At the top of that, just type in serif.
Okay.
And it's going to find everything that has serif in it. So you can select any one of those. And it will change that word to that font.
Okay.
So it just changed it.
Mm-hmm.
Michelle, are you caught up with us? You're on mute. We can't hear you. You're on mute.
Hi, good morning. Sorry.
Good morning. Did you get the link that I sent you?
Yeah.
Okay, and so do you see where we're at?
Well, let's see.
We're literally on page 2. It should look like what I have up on the screen.
This is telling me sign up with Google.
Yeah, you can just, it's a free account. You could just create one. Trust me, you're going to use it a lot.
Okay.
Okay, and then Andreas, you can go ahead and change the other 2. So at the bottom, I said change the word sans, and we're going to change that to Bukhari, or Bukhari script. And so it changes that one. And then display, we're going to change to be playlist.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, my computer is just.
Did you have any problems with that, Andreas?
No.
It's pretty simple. It's very Windows based. Michelle, I'm going to move forward. If you, once you get caught up, just go to the page that we're on, okay?
Okay.
Okay, on the
So I just got logged. I just got my account set up.
on the next page, Andreas. So this is just teaching you like how sometimes you need to bold certain letters or words to make things stand out a little bit more. So you always want to highlight the most important things that you really want to catch people's attention, right? Like the price or coming soon or things like that. So what I want you to do is double click and I want you to highlight what's the most important thing they should read.
Okay.
And then up at the top of the toolbar, you can make it bold by clicking on this capital bolded
Yep.
B, just like in Word. And then I also want you to change that font color to black. So right here next to the B is the text color. And you just go over and select black.
Okay.
So now it looks bigger and bolder, right? You could also change that script to make it different, to make it stand out a little bit more. Make sense?
Yeah.
Pretty simple stuff so far, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one, now this is really cool. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to go up here to where it says HTTPS Canva, where my little thing is. Right click on that. And it'll bring, what's that?
No, okay. That's okay.
And then it'll say go to HTTPS Canva. And so go ahead and open that. So I don't know how familiar you all are with Pantone colors or the color wheel. But this kind of basically where this color wheel is, opposite colors attract, right? So you can either do like a triangular thing, but they'll all match, they'll all go together, or you could do just one or two or four or whatever. But basically, any color that you have on one side, the opposite is a very complementary color. Half of the wheel, like from the red to part of the green, is the warm side. And then the blues and the lighter greens are the cool tones. So you know, a warm and a cool is going to complement each other. This is a cool little thing to where you can click your little mouse anywhere in here. So if I wanted to do this dark blue or bluish purple, then it tells me the automatic complementary color to that is this green. So you can kind of play around. Like if you have a logo or something that you're wanting to match, it's just a neat little tool that you can do.
Yep.
And then you can like, it'll see how the numbers are changing below the green and the pink.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, I'm just arrowing down and just selecting it. Okay, so go back over to the other tab at the top of your screen to go back to the ROG training. And we're gonna change some colors. So the first thing I want you to do is highlight the word green and make it green. So again, you're going to change your text color and we're going to change it to green. So now it's going to look green.
Yep.
So yellow and blue make green. So we're going to change this circle that's currently gray. You see this little gray box that's up here next to the word animate?
Yep.
So that gray box, click on it and it allows you to change colors. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to find a yellow.
Okay.
So now we have yellow and blue. Now I'm going to show you how to lighten that or make it transparent. So like a lot of times if we have pictures, we want to put them in the background, but not have it be overpowering. So we can put words on top of it. So highlight your red, yellow circle, and then see this checkerboard that's up in the corner.
Yep.
Click on that and move that down to 60%. You can literally just click and drag.
Yep.
And there's a leaf in the middle now.
Yeah, I see it.
Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
So you can kind of manipulate colors and photos and stuff to where you can see through things.
Mhm.
Michelle, are you caught up with us?
Well, kind of. I'm just following along, Brandy. I I'm on my Chromebook. I'm not on my
Okay.
PC. I think that makes a difference. Obviously, it makes a difference. The view's different. So I'm just gonna have to follow along on this until I get onto my PC.
Okay, no problem. Just as long as you're with us so far. Okay. The next thing is we're going to look at how to put pictures in things. So obviously pictures have a lot to do with what our business is, right? We're showing rooms, we're showing houses, maybe backyards, swimming pools, schools, whatever. So if you go to elements on the left-hand side, when you're building a flyer or whatever it is that you're doing, if you scroll down here where it says grids and frames and you see all of these like landscape cartoon things that has like the rolling hills and the sky with one cloud, those are frames. So any of those, you can literally drop a picture into it, okay? So anytime you see this in a flyer or a template, you can literally take any photo. So I'm going to go to some that I have uploaded. So here is my picture. So obviously that's too big for that, right? But notice when I pull it down a little bit, it automatically drops it in there. So I'm going to take another photo. So here's the American flag. I'm going to drop it in there. So it'll automatically format to whatever frame that you have up there. Pretty simple, right? And then if I wanted, like this one has my head cut off a little bit, I could actually pull it down and make it to where it's in there centered. Simple?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving right along. To create a QR code. So Canva allows you to create a QR code. So if you have your website, for instance, that you want to create a QR code that they could click on and go to that. If you have your digital business card that you want them to go to, you literally go over here to the toolbar that's on the very far left. At the top, it'll say like templates, elements, uploads. Scroll all the way down to the words more. It has like an ellipsis, like the 3 little dots at the very bottom. And then below that says more. From there, there are all of these add-ons and apps that you can integrate with it. Bitmojis, your Google Drive, YouTube, Giphies, everything. So we're going to go to QR code. So when you type in QR code, if you have a website that you like or your website, so right now I have brandyautorealtor.com. That's my website. So if I go to generate code, it's going to drop that code right there. And so now I can use this in my flyer to let people go to it. And if you were to pull out your phone and scan on that, it's automatically going to go to my website. So that's a good thing to use in flyers. Or like I said, your digital business cards that you can just have people literally open it up on their phone, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Next, animation is always fun. It really gets attention, especially when people are doing more videos and things like that. So you can do stickers and animation to any of your online presence. So to go to this, we're going to go up on the toolbar here, up to elements. And on elements, I just want you to click animated here. See, I want animated. So all of these things here make it animated. So if I want to do an arrow, now it's gonna pull up the animated arrows. So I like this little guy here at the top. I'm gonna drop him in and now he's pointing at the plant. I can turn it to point at the clock, the cat. You see the little circle at the bottom that has the 2 arrows? That turns whatever you're doing. So I'm gonna turn this to where it points at this cat that's trying to hide. Pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
And again, you can change colors. You can do anything with these that you want. You can have it fade in, breathe in, pop in, whatever. There's a lot of fun things you can do with that. When you're doing logos, because of our logo one, bless you.
Thank you.
Some people tend to do like a circle to kind of keep with that branding and then put their name in there. So I'm going to show you how to do a curved name. When you click on it, stop it. You're literally going to type just your name here. And it'll curve it. And if you're doing it regular, the way to do that is go to effects. You have to click on where your word is and down here to curve.
Okay.
And then it'll kind of curve it in there, whichever way you want it. This next slide shows you how to kind of just have some fun with things. You can draw. Let's see, where's my drawing pen? Oh no, I just clicked out of there. Not what I wanted to do. Sorry, guys. There it goes.
I have a quick question, Brandy.
Yes, ma'am.
I recently attended the training relating to the Realty One's their own product, like where you can order business cards and things like that. Now, is this an alternative to that, so that if I wanted to create my own business card, I could go in here and do that?
Absolutely. I've created numerous business cards for other agents as well as myself in there. I created my business card in Canva.
Oh yeah.
And
Ooh,
then
I like that.
I even ordered it from Canva. So I got a box from Canva that I ordered my cards in.
Okay, cool.
So you can order directly from them and they have your formats and everything. Okay, so let's skip to the next one. I can't find my tool, so we'll come back to that one. So the Giphy is just like we did the QR code. So go down to more. You're going to go to the Giphy tab and then type in wow. And then you could insert any of these in there. And it, just kind of does something fun for you. I'm going to delete that because it's a little much for me. Go ahead and skip number 11. It's just drawing a face. It shows you like if you wanted to put an eye on somebody or something like that, but we're going to skip through that for time's sake. Entering a chart. So go up to elements, which is at the top. And you can type in chart. And you could enter a chart here. So you would tell it like, here, it automatically pulls up your items and series. So if you were doing like, this is how many homes that have sold in this price range over this year, and this year, kind of like a trend, this is how you could do that. You could just enter the information. It pulls it up on the side over here where normally like your pictures and stuff were. And you could enter that. And as I enter this, so if I said this was in 2019, sorry, if this was in 2019, and it changes it on the bottom there. You see that?
Yeah.
So, fun if you're doing like market statistics or anything like that.
Yeah.
All right, so how to insert a photo. So go to the photos, which is 2 below elements on the left-hand side. And in your search bar at the top, type in house. And it'll pull up a ton of stuff that is gold for us as realtors, right? You can do shaking hands, just a picture us of a house on a grass, whatever. So pick one of those. I'm just going to do this little house with grass. The other thing to mention is that this is free. Some of these, like the one above that, has the little crown and it says pro. That means that you pay the service. It's $120 a year. I used Canva for many years without paying for the services. You can get by just fine, especially being a new agent and not wanting to spend money. You can do plenty. So I'm going to select this. Now, for me, you know, I've got this other thing behind it, and I don't want it to, I can make this bigger. I want to still be able to see what is in my black square. See how it's not there?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my picture like I have it. So I've got my 4 little dots here, and then I'm going to go up here to position, and I'm going to move it backwards. So this is now, like, think of layered. So right now my house picture is here and my black toolbar is here. I'm going to move this one backwards. So it's just going to go, but it's going to do it in layers. So the first thing popped up, now the second one, now the third one, now the black. So now that is behind there. So it doesn't like send it all the way to the back all automatically. It's going to do it in stages. Okay.
Nice.
And then again, like if we were adding a picture, you know, I would maybe not want the picture to be so bright. So I could do this into transparency. And if this were a white background, then you could really see it better, but it's picking up that red behind it. And then a background color. So right now my background is just this blue. I can see it up here, the background color. So if you go down to background, I want you to type in the word, oh, I didn't change this. I want you to type in the word leaves and leaves. So I'm going to type in leaves. Now it brings me up a whole bunch of green stuff, but this is fall, so I may want something a little different. I'm going to do this one. So now it's changed my background, and it automatically goes to the full background when you do that. And it knows to put it behind the other because it's the background. Okay. Let's see. If you had a logo, so like we do have logos for the corporation or for the business. So here is a logo that I can add in. This is what we call a brand board. So as you're creating your brand and being recognized, you're going to want everything to kind of have the same look and feel so that your people are then recognizing that as you, right? If Andreas's favorite color is, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Green. So he may want to have a logo that's green. And everything that he does should have some sort of green in there, right? So that it's creating awareness and background. So you could drop, let me show you this. If I do a picture, we're going to put Jody in here. Jody's going to be in this picture right here. Then I can select 4 colors to go with that. So I've got Realty One and Jody. So what are some of the colors that kind of go with this? Now, this is the really cool thing about Canva is if I look down here where Jody's picture is, it automatically pulls up some of the colors that go with her in that picture. If I pull up the Realty One, it again is going to pull out those brand colors for us, right? So if I were Jody, then I may want that. I may want, that. Change it to there. We could do a lighter one and a darker one. So those could be her brand. And it's always a good idea, you know, like if you have what those are, once you decide what you want, you can always get the color. Because remember, we talked about the PMS colors previously. This will tell you what that color is. So that color is hashtag E5E8151. So if you're working with an artist or another company and you're wanting them to match your brand, you give them that number. That is a universal code that all graphic designers and anybody that does stuff uses PMS or Pantone colors. Okay, so those are your exact brands. And then if you wanted to use different fonts, you could put those here. And then it's a good idea just to kind of create this somewhere and print it out. You could even take that color, you know, the EF or E5E851, and I would put it in text here so that I know that that's what that one is.
Yeah.
Right. Next is choosing your channels. So this is just to try to help you start creating a brand for yourself. So work with your brand page on the one before this, and then kind of think about, you know, today, what areas do I want to work on? Go back in a month or two and say, okay, now what can I add into it? So this says delete any ones that you don't need, but what you could do is really just kind of like have, you could do a line that says now and later, you know, like I don't think any of us are ready for TV and radio ads, right? I mean, I'm not willing to spend that money yet, and I've been in the business for a while. So, but I could just move this one down. Well, maybe I can move it down to where it's a later. It's something that I'm going to work towards, right? Mm-hmm. Zoom backgrounds, those are easy to do. So right now, all of us have what's currently behind us, but we could create our own Zoom background that would brand ourselves and our brokerage behind us, especially if you had a green screen.
Yeah.
So it's little things that this is just kind of things that you can think about, things that you can work towards that'll help you kind of have a vision for what you want to do. Another thing with Canva that I really like is you see these lines that keep popping up that go across, like the little that little line that just went there. Those tell you when that's the one I want. So that one right there, it shows me that it is perfectly in line with Instagram and postcards. Do you see how that keeps coming up?
Yeah.
So that tells me, because my eyes may not have thought that that was right, but it's going to tell me I am right. It'll also do one right there that tells me it's now centered within everything else there. So those are guides that help you. Okay. And this is another page that you can just kind of work towards. So what do you want to accomplish? So you can write like, this is like your vision for change: smart, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So I try to make these to where I have a goal for myself, you know, what do I want to do? How do I want to get there? What is it going to take? How long will it take me to get there? And is it truly something achievable, right? I mean, it's real easy for us to say, I want to make $4 million next year. Is that attainable in your first year? Not for everyone, right? But how can you get there? So take those smaller goals and piece them out to get to where you want to get. So I just put this in there so y'all can play with it. This is kind of like, we're going to be doing vision boards later this year for the following year. And this is kind of like a start to it that'll kind of get you started in the right direction. And then the last thing is just making things visible and making them change. So we talked about adding the animation. You can add things to where they come in later. And it's just, Canva's fun. It's a whole, you can do so much with it. Do y'all have any questions? Is there anything that you know how to do?
This was
that
very
you don't know
helpful,
how to do?
actually.
What's that?
That was very helpful.
Oh, good.
But yeah, no questions, honestly.
Well, this is yours to kind of play around with. So if
Perfect.
you can go in and make changes and edits and just kind of, you're not going to mess anything up. So just go
All right.
play with it. And, you know, if you ever have anything that you want to learn how to do, or you have questions about it, feel free to reach out to me, give me a call, or email. I'm always available. So
Awesome. Thank you so much.
you're
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm in the situation where I need to get my first set of business cards, and so this is really helpful to get me on that road and figure
So
out.
I did a class a few weeks ago on digital business cards.
Yes, I set up my digital card.
Okay, good. So yeah, if you want to do business cards, let me just pop over here since y'all can see my screen.
Yeah, I did my digital card, I think Tuesday, so it's pretty neat, and your instructions were really helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
So here's one I did for another agent.
And where do you go to like make the business cards?
So literally at the front, let me let hers pull up real quick. So here was
Give me my
here's
try.
the hers, and then the back is just plain. Or I was going to do a different thing. So really hers is just that. But you can go, if you go to the home page, up here are sized for everything that you need. So if you're doing a video, Facebook post, Facebook cover, Instagram logos, flyers, anything. But if you go to marketing up at the top, business card is one of them. So you can create a business card. It can be two-sided or just one-sided, however you want. And they have some templates over here that you could kind of start with. So let them come up. So you could even type in real estate. Oh, you could spell it right though. That helps. So I can type in real estate. Let's look at Sarah Ann. Well, that's a paid for one, but you can look at it. And that's a nice, good, clean thing. You know, you could put Realty One here, your name. It should say Realtor, not real estate agent. Make sure that when you're using Realtor, it's in all caps and you use the branded registration trademark. But your picture, if I go back, You know, there's all types of things that you could do. This one, Stockton Real Estate Group, is free. It's kind of got our colors. So you could easily take that and make it your own. I would recommend when you're working with Realty One Group, the Realty One Group logo, and it's Realty One Group Prosper, has to be 50% of your stuff. So like this says Stockton Realty Group, I would make that my name. And then this would say Realty One Group Prosper.
Okay.
You definitely want yourself to be represented more, but you still have to co-brand the brokerage, and it has to be 50% of what yours is.
Okay.
But you know, you can go through here and kind of take some of these templates. If I didn't like, you know, like I don't like the color of this. So here, when I click on this, it has all of the colors that are in there. Well, I want to change that to gold. Well, maybe I want to change this other one to gold too. So it's changing those buildings that now are going to be branded to match my logo, right? You see how I'm doing that? I'm just taking that gold color at the top and I'm changing it to match our brand. So that when I go in here and I put our brand, it's now going to blend with it better. Right? And I may even pull this down a little bit. Pull that down. Put this over here. Now I've got room for my picture. Right? And I could put if I want this to be smaller, which I absolutely would want that to be smaller, I just do that. To do the trademark, you do Alt 0174 and it pulls in the registration trademark.
Is that what's anywhere?
Yeah.
What was
Alt,
it?
you do the Alt button and then
Yeah.
0174. You hold down the alternate button. And then as you're holding it down, type in 0174.
Awesome.
And then, like I said, I can put in, where's my uploads? I can put in my picture here. Oops, too many times.
Does the font matter in terms of the style guide, Brandy, for Realty One Prosper?
There are certain fonts that they like us to use, but it's not as important as the logo.
Okay, of course.
Because they're not, the fonts that they use are not readily accessible, so they're harder to get. The fonts have more to do with the branding of the actual brokerage versus us.
I see. Okay, that's helpful.
So
Thank you.
I literally made a business card for myself in what, 5 minutes maybe, using a template. You can just kind of create it. With the pro version, one thing that I could do is I could go up here to edit image and I could take out the background So you're gonna see that gray kind of go away here in a second.
I have so many questions because I'm learning, obviously. I wasn't clear. Do we have like ROPG email addresses we should use, or are we just gonna, like, would I just use my Gmail address?
You use your Gmail. So everything for me, like I have brandyautorealtor@gmail.com. My website is brandyautorealtor.com. So I use the same thing. Again, I'm trying to brand myself. So everything I do has that same thing. You could do something in there. You just have to, you can't say Michelle's Real Estate or Michelle's Properties. It has to be branded. Those are track guidelines. You can't use those that make you sound like you're your own brokerage.
Right, sure.
But you can say Michelle Perez Realtor, Michelle Sells Austin, Michelle, you know, whatever like that. You can, there are different things, but I would advise you to look at Trek in branding guidelines or emails, and they will tell you what you can and cannot say.
Okay.
Because you don't want to get in trouble with them.
Right.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And then once you do that, you can always, like I use brandyautorealtor.com. I bought my own domain.
Mm-hmm.
And so Realty One gives us a website to use. I've rebranded it. So I've directed the URL to mine, which then goes back to theirs.
Okay.
So instead of having I think it's like my Realty One group /brandyauto.com. Mine's just Brandy Auto Realtor.
Okay.
Makes it easy.
Sure. Good idea.
Okay. Any questions?
Thank you so much. I have a million questions, so I appreciate you taking the time to answer them all.
Michelle, I'm here anytime. If y'all need anything, please reach out to me. I've told you my email address and name. It's all up here. So reach out to me anytime you need help. I'm glad to help you. The only time I won't answer is if I'm with a client, but I'll usually text you and say, hey, let me call you back. I'm with a client or with somebody else. So, but I'm here for you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Y'all have a great weekend. Go out
You
and sell
too.
something.
All right. Thanks so
Hopefully.
much. Yeah, try. Thank you,
Bye,
Brandy.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.